hello. I'm Christopher Herring. I'm the Executive Director for Global Chamber of San Antonio, Austin, and Houston. And today, in celebration of Women's History Month, I have Michele, the brand coach. And, I thought it was interesting as we were going into this period of recognition, which is March, that we should talk to business owners about their passion about business, but then also how often do we really know where these people come from? So today, thank you, Michele, for being on. This is going to be a great 15 minutes where we get to really to talk about you, because in your business, you help other people to brand themselves. So before we go into what you do, tell us who you are, where you're from.
So I am Michele, the brand coach. I'm originally from the great state of Illinois. My family migrated to Illinois in the early like 1940s, 50s to Chicago area from Alabama and Mississippi. So born and raised really throughout the U.S., honestly. To be non-military, my mother did move a lot. So graduated from Charleston State University, went to the University of Missouri for grad school. So I have a BSW and an MSW, but also spent 17 years as an educator before becoming an entrepreneur. My last official teaching job was in the UAE in Abu Dhabi. I taught English to third and fourth graders there before launching my company, Michele Events. So that's how we got into this space, actually through event planning. So myself and a few other teachers actually started doing event promotions and event planning there in Abu Dhabi. And I always wanted to be an event planner, so I decided to launch my company there before coming back to the US. So that's how I got into entrepreneurship. And now that kind of being in event planning and I started working with a marketing company as far as getting print material. And that's what really propelled me into brand development. So I started working with small business owners just by printing, helping them with printed marketing materials like business cards and brochures, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then just through conversation with those business owners about their business and about their brand, and people always ask me, how did I build mine? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't realize I was building a brand at the time. I was just doing what I knew to do.
So you saw the need in the marketplace, and and you discovered that people really needed help, and business owners really needed to have help with branding. And so we also say that in business, business owner has to invest in marketing. And when it starts a business, we typically will market, but then I find businesses typically will stop the marketing campaign and then they just settle for whatever comes through the door. And then they complain about why they don't have customers. So, so your story is interesting because I don't think that I've heard many stories about an educator who then became a serial entrepreneur. So tell us more about your business branding services.
So as a full service branding agency, our niche is specifically helping small business owners and solopreneurs really build the foundation of their brand. So we help you develop through event planning. So we help you plan brand related events to reach your target audience, to get people in the doors. We do print and design. So we help make sure that you look good online and out in public. So our logo, website, anything marketing materials that you need. And then we do coaching and consulting. So helping you really master and hone in your story, create a mission and vision statement, help you develop products and services. So everything is customized. So we really focus on you and what you need to have, the brand that you want to put out to the world. And that goes into like core values, really assessing your core values. What are they? How do you emulate those? Helping you create a customer experience. What do you want people out in the community to say about your business? You have to develop that. And then, do the work to make sure that it goes hand in hand. So we help people in those three areas.
Yeah, and most importantly, they have to be able to do the work. And so you give them the confidence to be able to not only to project the confidence that they have in their knowledge, skills, and abilities in the marketplace, but then you show them how to project it in terms of the brand that people will always remember.
Correct.
Like, Yeah, because when people think about branding, what should they remember about branding that's important? Is it like having a good logo? Is it about having a slogan? What is it about branding that people really, and I'm going to ask you because I want you to give my audience a little bit of a trade secret. Go ahead.
Got you.
Bless
So
us.
here's the
Bless
thing, the logo, excuse me, the logo is really the least of your concerns. That's really like kind of on the back burner. You want to focus on solving a problem. When you really figure out what your niche is and what voids there are in your area, your city, or community, or whatever, and how you can solve that problem, because people care about results. But what the other thing they care about is how the results come about. So branding is about how you deliver that service, as far as it may be pricing, it may be time, it may be, whatever makes you you and how you deliver that. And it's about the experience. More than anything, branding is about how you make people feel. So how do they feel when they interact with you as a person, because they're the personal brand, or either how they interact with their biz, with your actual business. So when they walk into your store, when they go online to your website, does everything on your website work? Is all the pictures clear? As long as they can get in and get out at the end of the day,
That's
as
right.
far as online. But even when you have a brick and mortar, are your employees, or are you as a staff, are you welcoming to people? Are you say hi, hello, thank you, how may I help you? Are you being cordial? Are you creating a vibe, an experience that people will remember enough to tell somebody about? So
Okay.
at the core, branding is about an experience and emotions at its core. But there's a lot that goes into building that to evoke the emotions and provide the experience that you want people to have.
Okay.
It
Well,
has to
thank
be built. It has to be developed and thought out.
Well, you just took to school a lot of folks that are watching, so thank you for that. I
You're
want
welcome.
you to come back now to the core of why we're here, which is Women's History Month. So please describe or tell me and the audience who really has influenced you from history that you would like to share, and what are you doing with women-owned businesses, which is really one of the fastest growing business sectors in the
Yes.
world. So those two questions are independent, but please, you can jump in on either one.
So I will say from influence, I'm fortunate enough to come from a family of entrepreneurs. So I have to say that first. So on my mother's side, both of my aunts own businesses. We actually, our family owns one of the longest standing beauty supply stores in Southern Illinois. So being blessed to come from a family of entrepreneurs, even though my uncles as well, but both of my aunts own businesses. So I was able to see that at an early age, what entrepreneurship looked like in many different facets and forms, from having a brick and mortar to just going online. So I have to say, to start with, my family has been very influential in me now being an entrepreneur, although I went to college first and had a career in education to be able to be at this point. But I would say, since I've been in business, especially here in San Antonio, I would have to say Deborah Omawali has been someone that's really dear to me. Just seeing the phenomenal things that she's done when she had the end to now with SayChem, she's been a great mentor to me. So I definitely hold her near and dear um, to my heart. In that space. I would honestly even say, just even so, even my clients, like I gain inspiration even from my clients. One of my clients, her name is Lori Julian. She has a nonprofit called Friendship is the New Pretty. She had a serious illness about a year or so ago, and just to see her bounce, to really work hard to bounce back from that, to be back in position to get her organization back up and running, that was very, inspiring to me to see her, go through that challenge and struggle. So I do get a lot of inspiration from a lot of my women-owned business clients, um, just daily, just seeing them push through has been very important.
That's good. I'm glad we can pause right there because of that next question about, what do you do to serve women-owned businesses? But to go to the harder question about the various challenges that women business owners have and why they even got into being into business. Maybe you can address some of that for us, because to unpack seeing someone who um, has struggled, maybe because of health, but then also there are struggles just related to the basic employment
Right.
that women experience. So, in your words, what's the problem and what's the solution?
So honestly, I think like I feel like it's open. I mean, it's a everybody can clearly see the state of our economy right now. Things are getting expensive, and so
Okay.
COVID. I feel like COVID taught us a lot. It
Mhm.
should have taught us a lot. But the one thing that COVID taught us is that you never can just bank on your 9 to 5. Now everybody needs another stream of income. No matter how much money you make at that 9 to 5, you need something else happening on the back end. So whether it's a side hustle, small business, full out whole entrepreneur business, we now, especially women, because at the end of the day, we do have an influx of most of the single parents, especially in the US, are women. And so they're navigating raising children, they're navigating 9 to 5, they're also now navigating running a business. So whether you're a single parent or you're married, vice versa, you still need additional streams of income just because of the current climate. But I've been following the story about I can't think of her name right now, but they're going through this whole court case with the venture capitalist, um, where she's being sued by a Caucasian man, far as being able to create venture capital opportunities for minority women. And the mere fact that somebody has the mitigated gall
Hmm.
to sue a Black woman who's trying to help, I don't think people realize that women, number one, only receive 0.1%, if not that, of venture capital funds.
Hmm.
So the fact that we have several people, I know Keisha Knight Pulliam from the Cosby Show and several others with her have created funds. Serena Williams is a invest in small business. She's created a fund. So we have so many women out here really stepping up to create funds to be able to provide funding, because we're not getting it. And especially
Hmm.
as Black women, we're definitely not getting it as Black women. As far as like there's billions of dollars out there, and only to not even getting a full percent, a full 1%, that's insane. So the
Okay.
fact that we have people out there championing our cause, I really wish I could think of the name of um, our sister friend in Atlanta that's going through this right now, but it'll probably come to me after this video. But there are so many people that are championing the cause for women to be able to have funding, because the more funding opportunities that women-owned business have, the better it is for the economy.
Mhm.
The better we can take care of our families, the quicker we get off of whatever assistance or support, if we are on it. Not to say that anybody is or isn't, but the quicker we can fend for ourselves and maintain and grow in generational wealth, especially from the African American perspective. So, and women entrepreneurs are the leading group of entrepreneurs right now in the small business space. I think during COVID, 4 million businesses were formed between 2020 to 2021.
Mhm.
Now, of those 4 million, how many are still thriving? I'm not sure, but I would love to know the numbers. But definitely 4 million businesses were formed either through with LLC, DBA during that time. And that speaks volumes. And they were formed, a good portion of them were formed by women.
Okay.
So I think we just have to give way to what women entrepreneurs really bring to the table, and what we do, what we bring to the table in a sense of how we do it and why
Okay.
is important.
All right. Very good. And I would believe that maybe there's something about a woman's wage and her salary and the corporate being less than typically what a man will make as well. That
Exactly,
makes it so
factual.
that everything that you're talking about in terms of having to have the side income, the sole proprietorship, the entrepreneurial hustle, or the small business, that all those are really derivatives of not having an
I
adequate
mean,
uh, first income
correct.
paying the same as what men get paid. So I'm
So
with
it's
you.
a fight on both, it's like a fight on both ends. So it's a fight in the small business space for women to receive funding and capital, just as it is a fight to just receive equal pay at work.
Oh, wow.
So the fight is on both ends. And if you happen to own a business and you have a 9 to 5, the struggle is really real. So you're
Mm.
trying to stay, you're trying to keep your job, you're trying to grow in that space and also build out a business. That's a lot
So,
to try to
so
fight.